it's Amber, and tonight I'm going to be showing you how I wash my brushes. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that sounds like a boring video, but I have this handy dandy little machine here that helps me wash my brushes and cuts down my brush washing time from an hour to 10 minutes, and it dries them too, so you're not having to clip your brushes upside down or fluffing them and hoping they dry within the next day so you can use them. You can literally use your brush right after you dry it and wash it. So let's get into this video. You're going to want to fill your little pot up about halfway with lukewarm water, and then you're going to put a little bit of brush shampoo in it. I'm actually using makeup brush shampoo, but I heard you can use Johnson & Johnson's baby wash, but I'm using these Equal Tools makeup brush shampoo for a deep weekly cleanse. It's paraben free, dermatologist tested, hypoallergenic, and it's cruelty free, so you only need a little bit of that. So we're going to put that in there. And then you find the right tube that fits the bottom of your brush. Right now I'm washing one of my Lexi brushes, and you can see it's very pink, and usually they're white. So what you're going to do is you're going to fully submerge your brush in the water, and then you're going to push this button. They tell you to do it for only about 10 or 15 seconds, depending on how dirty the brush actually is. I usually do mine for about 15, once again, depending on how dirty the brush is. Just swirl it around. Make sure you don't fill this cup up too much, because see how much soap is already foaming up. It can go over the top. I just got a little bit on my face. And then you put it down and you turn this off. And then you're going to want to get off any of the excess soap. You're going to want a bowl of water here, unless you want to take frequent trips to the sink, which who wants to do that. And you're going to just run it through again with the water. And then you're going to want to, once again, take all the excess water off. Now, you see my brush is matted down and probably would take 2 or 3 days to dry. But once you get this done, you turn it on again, point it down. It takes about 15 or 10 seconds. And once you stop it, it's completely dry. Once again, completely dried. It's no longer pink, it's completely clean. Ready to use. So that was a bigger, fluffier brush. Now I'm going to show you a tinier brush. My daughter's over here handing me the brushes. Say hi, Emma.
Hi.
This one. Now I'm going to show you a tinier brush. Sometimes the tinier, more compact brushes don't dry when spun out, but those really don't take that long to dry. So this is one of my limited edition Luxie brushes I just got from BoxyCharm the other day. It's pretty pink from the eyeshadow that I was using. And once again, you're just going to submerge, turn on. See it in there? Not really, because the water's pretty cloudy. It doesn't make that big of a wave like the bigger, fluffier brushes do, so you could probably do this a little bit longer depending on how dirty your brush is. And then you just turn it off, scrape off the excess soap, put it through the water, and then squeeze off the excess water. It's lumpy, and I'm not guaranteeing this brush is going to get completely dry, but this is my first time washing these brand new ones because they're new, and I just got them a few days ago, and I've just been wiping them off on a makeup wipe, which isn't the healthiest to do, because I've heard so many horror stories about women using dirty brushes, never cleaning their brushes, and getting really bad skin infections, and I already deal with horrible acne, so I'm not trying to get a skin infection. So it's been about 10 seconds. I'll give it a little bit more. Maybe it'll get dry because it is a shader brush, so it's not that packed it in. So spinning around. I always thought that was cool. I don't know if you can see it. It shows bigger on the fluffy brushes. So turn that off. See, this one did get dry because it is a shader. It didn't get all the way clean, mainly because it's the color's kind of impacted in there. Some of them do, some of them don't, but I really don't mind it when they don't come back to their natural color as long as I know that they're clean. And we're going to do another little brush. I promise there's only one more brush left. And this is probably boring, you guys, but I figured I'd share because I thought this machine was so cool. This one's a little bit more packed in. It's for like inner corners where the fluffy brush can't get. So once again, dip it in, turn it on, swirl it around. Like I said, depending on how much pigment and how long it's been since you've actually washed a certain brush is depending on if the color comes out. But as long as you know your brush is clean, I think that's all that matters. So you turn it off, you squeeze out the excess, you put it through the water. This is another one that the color isn't going to come out of, and unfortunately, which I don't seem to understand because these are brand new brushes and the color has not been on them for more than 2 or 3 days, but as long as I know it's clean, I'm fine. Squeeze the excess water out. Now you can barely see this brush. Now it came a little bit more clean than the shader brush. This one I know probably isn't going to dry because it's such a packed brush, and that's fine with me because these little brushes don't take 3 or 4 days like fluffy brushes do. What really kind of makes me upset about this set is that there's a lot of brushes that I have that the handles don't fit. Like I have this big fluffy brush. This would take days. Probably days to fit, to dry after being washed. But I have a triangle for a handle. None of them fit. Like, it's all circles. So I think if someone was to redo this machine, I would want them to, see, this isn't going to get dry, but it is clean, so that's all that matters. And then my lash brush I'm going to show you guys before I stop boring you all to death. Whoever's watching this is probably sleeping. Is my last Luxie brush. It's one of my favorite brushes other than the tapered shader. It is a 522 taper highlighter brush. I love highlighter. It's one of my favorite things. But this thing is packed in highlighter. Of course you're not going to be able to see it because I use the lightest highlighter possible because I am Casper the Ghost. But you can't really tell it's dirty, but the cool thing about washing fluffy brushes with this machine is that the outcome of them being super wet and then watching them dry in 15 to 20 seconds. Which normally if you were to wash a brush like this by hand, it would take at least 1 or 2 days to dry. And sometimes, thank you, sorry, she's digging through my makeup collection. But sometimes it would take 1 to 2, maybe even 3 days to dry, depending on if you wring it out in time. And sometimes, in my head, I think it would creep me out being wet all that time. I would think that mold would start to grow, but that's just my paranoid self. But I'd much rather have a clean and a dry immediately than having to wait. Especially if you're a person that does your makeup every day, you want to be able to have your brushes on hand. Especially if you only have a few of them. It's always nice to have them clean and dry. Now, BoxyCharm gave us something that you put on your brushes, you spray on them, and then you wipe it off and it wipes the pigment out, but it's still a little damp, but not nearly as damp as it would be if you were to wash them completely submerged in water and then let them dry. But I always thought this was cool, like I was trying to show you earlier. Kind of looks like a little hacksaw. It doesn't hurt to touch. Not saying that you should, but it doesn't. See, this already looks all the way dry, and I've only had it on for like 1 or 2 minutes, maybe. Not even that, honestly, like 25 to 30 seconds. I'm going to give it about 5 more seconds, and then I'm going to turn it off and show you guys. I really think this machine is great. They actually have an upgraded version where you put all your brushes in, you put the water in the cleaner, I think, in the bottom, and then you plug it in, push a button, and it does all the work for you. But then again, I prefer this one because I don't think that one dries it. And even if it does, I still prefer this one. I think that one's cool, but I bought this one off of Amazon last year for, I think, $25. Yep, see? Completely clean. Completely dry, not even soaked. But I just wanted to get on here and show you guys this. I thought it was pretty cool. So, how many times of weeks or days or months do you clean your guys' brushes? Leave a comment in the comments below and let me know. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.